Ready to find out more about the small businesses and artists in your town? Small Biz is where it is. Let's support our community by shopping small, keeping it local, and keeping things all fine and dangy.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in this week to hear about the crazy adventures of Dan and Angie.
It's been a whirlwind. I think we want to start by saying, those of you that saw last week's, or I guess 2 weeks ago episode, as I said at the beginning of that one, the situation with us and Hurricane Helene is so minor compared to so many people. Mm-hmm. You know, and so I don't want to make it seem like, oh, it was so terrible. In fact, it just keeps getting better, and we'll get into that.
Yeah, we're like on vacation.
Yeah, exactly. But we've been displaced, so we haven't been home. We haven't had any running water. We just found out today, the 19th, that we do now have running water, but you have to boil it, so we can't really use it for showers and food. Yeah. So we're still traveling from place to place, and we're so fortunate to have family and friends that have taken us in. And this is sort of what we've been up to since we last spoke. Now, I also want to say, I forgot to say in last week's episode that Angie, yes, she did cut her leg almost all the way to the bone, but she's okay. I had so many of you you never said if Angie was okay.
I butterflied that shit. I butterflied it.
Yes, you did.
I mean, it is still healing up, though, and it's left a pretty gnarly scar even after I did all my little patchwork.
That's right, but we took you to Centricare. They looked at it, and they said, you're good to go. You'll have a cool scar.
Yeah, I have a cool scar, and I'm going to get a hurricane tattoo right there on it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Hell no, I'm not getting no hurricane tattoo on my shin. Heck no. Anyway, I do want to give a shout out to Josh and Caroline in Conover, North Carolina.
Yes.
So that was our first stop after we left town.
Yes, and that's how we ended last week's episode. Yeah.
And that was, did we?
Yeah, we said.
See, it's been 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Since
At the
our last
end,
episode,
it was
so I
the
forgot.
puppies on the bed, and I said, we don't know where we're going or how long we'll be here, but we're thankful we got out.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So, we had a really great stay there. I think we stayed for 5 days. And now we are coming at you from Dalton, Georgia. So, my cuz Rodney, Davenport, and Jodi offered their home so nicely to us. And now they're sick of us, so they said, you guys got to leave.
That's right.
By tomorrow.
Yes.
The puppies can stay.
Oh, my God. But that really is a free vacation.
You say that, but you would be so sad.
I could probably leave them for like 3 days, and then I'd be like, okay, we're going to come get them.
Right.
But thank you guys so much.
Yes.
We have felt so comfortable, and we have had so much fun since we've been here.
More than just comfortable. I was making the list for this show, and I'm like, if I think of all the things we do on like a 2-week vacation, it's
done
less
more.
than this.
We've done more.
So yeah, this has been awesome.
With 3 of us working full-time jobs.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Squeezing it all in
Not
between.
me. I'm really on vacation. This
You've been
is like
full-time taking care of the
sweet,
puppies.
man.
That's right.
This is sweet. But I do want to say, so like me and Rodney were like, the cousins who like hung out all the time.
You've heard of Rodney before when Angie talks about having a bullet in her jaw.
Yes,
right.
we should post a picture
You're
of that because
welcome.
I have one.
Oh, we should.
I am a gunshot survivor.
That's right.
The only one in the room, may I say. But, we grew up together. Like, I love that I have the stories of growing up with cousins who were all around my same age because we were like crazy. And we had so much fun in like the summers and stuff. So, great. I mean, we've lived together several times, like as kids, our families lived together. And then we hung out as teenagers. But I will say, since we've been adults in the adult world, we haven't really hung out that much.
Everybody went their separate ways.
That's
and
right.
it's much
Raising
harder.
kids and moving to different states.
God,
and
isn't
every
that
time
how it goes?
Yeah, but every time they come to Florida, me and Dan have something planned and we're in another freaking state or
that's true.
something
Yep,
or doing something. So it's been really nice to just hang and kind of get, it's not even catched back up because it feels the same to me, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, that's really how our family is anyway.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we've really just enjoyed staying here.
And for me, who I barely knew you guys, I think we met twice for 5 minutes, it feels like.
Basically.
So being able to hang out for a couple weeks, it's been so cool and so nice to get to know you. And we're looking forward to coming back around or having you guys out to our place.
We have
time.
even changed our trajectory. Is that a word? Trajectory?
Yeah.
Trajectory.
That's a word.
So we've made the decision to move away from North Carolina, and we had already made that decision to kind of try out another state or another area. We were talking about Virginia for a while, and I think we've settled on Tennessee.
Yep.
And because of staying with you guys for this past couple weeks, and then now we're headed to Knoxville tomorrow to stay with some friends in Knoxville that we love hanging out with, I think it kind of made us say, I think we want to be a little closer.
Yeah.
And kind of like in between, so it's like a couple hours to get, to be able to hang out.
So we won't be just dropping by unannounced.
Yeah. We're just not going to be your Look, we don't want that neither. So, let's make a plan.
But it's close enough to make plans.
I'm going to be naked.
Yes.
I don't want to be answering my door. No, we can't have company right now.
Hashtag Josh's son bursting in the room. Love you, Josh. Appreciate it, but that was fun.
How many times do you answer your front door naked?
Yeah.
Well, knowing me,
Any
I'll
more?
peek out the window.
Yeah.
It's just Amazon guy. He's never going to see me again.
He's good. He's fine. Except tomorrow when he brings
When
more
he brings
Amazon.
more Amazon stuff. He just shows up at the house.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't have a package. No, I'm so sorry.
I forgot it. My mistake. Oh, my God.
It's the naked house.
Oh, boy.
You know they probably have that a lot.
sure.
But it's probably like, really old guy with like one testicle hanging out, like the he's got like the little hand towel wrapped around him instead of the shower towel.
The Amazon guy always shows up with a blindfold on. How's he driving? Yeah, exactly. But to lead into our 2 weeks here, I mean, right away, we went to a really nice restaurant called Cyrus. Is that
Cyrus.
Cyrus?
Yep.
Cyrus.
Yeah.
Awesome. Excellent steak. I don't even remember what the rest of you got.
I had the ahi tuna, and
that's
that
right.
was amazing.
Yep. I had the Iberico pork chop.
Yeah,
I almost got that.
Yeah. It was very good.
I had a bite of that. That was
Yeah.
really good.
Oh, and Rodney got the prime rib?
No, I
Ribeye.
got New York strip.
Oh, the New York strip. That's my second favorite steak.
But we had amazing appetizers.
Oh, yes.
Like the food was, and you guys know by seeing the kind of places we like to eat and stuff.
yeah,
We're
for sure.
we're picky.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
picky like ew, I don't want that on my plate.
Yeah.
But we like finer
Finer
dining,
dining, yes.
just good food.
And good
Yeah,
atmosphere.
and that's the way
And
we
good
are, too.
atmosphere.
Yes.
Atmosphere in there was amazing.
Yeah.
The
Oh, yeah.
decor.
If you want proof of our love of fine dining and you want to look at me, just start about 6 months ago on the podcast and then move up until now, and you can watch
You
me
can
get.
watch the
You can watch
transformation.
the transformation. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. That place was amazing. That was really good.
Yeah, and I love that they have like a more, a casual side and like a little bit fancier side too. So remember we walked in
Oh yeah.
and it was a little more cash.
There's like there's like an outdoor area that you walk through to get
there's
between
an
the
outdoor
two.
dining area, and then we went into the more kind of like bougie looking
Yeah.
side, which is really
And
nice
more
looking.
intimate, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, a
Smaller,
little quieter.
Soon to be bourbon bar.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they said they're making progress on that
Oh,
too.
yeah.
And you guys have been to these places we're going to name a bunch of times. And which
Yes.
what I love about that is it's not like when you've been to a restaurant one time and you go with friends and they're like, "What should I get?" And you're like, "Well, I only ever had the burger."
Right.
You
So
guys are
everywhere
like,
we've
we've
been,
pretty much had everything,
Yep.
so it's all good. But
all
here's
good.
our suggestion.
Yes.
And I always do that to like the server. I'm like, "What do you recommend?"
Yep.
Because
Mm-hmm.
you guys know because
Yeah,
you've had
for
them all.
sure.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
or you can at least say, "Don't get the whatever." And
Yeah.
we never had
Exactly.
any of that anyway.
The
so.
thing with servers, though, is sometimes the kitchen will have them pushing a certain item. Like maybe
Oh,
they're
that's
running
true,
low of
too. Yeah,
something,
yeah.
or
Oh,
they
that's
want to get rid of
true.
something. So they're going to say whatever
yeah.
the kitchen
You're
is
gonna
saying.
ruin-
Thought about that.
You're going to ruin my
Yeah.
process of feeling like I'm having such a good,
I
honest
know.
conversation with my
But
server.
they
'Cause
haven't
I've never
eaten
thought of it that
everything.
way.
Yeah.
Because like it's when you we've done that before, and then our server happens to be like, "Well, I'm vegan, but." Everybody says these are really good, and I'm like, "Well, bitch, you didn't eat these, so how?
Exactly.
Don't tell
But
me
you
what
know what,
everybody
now-
else says."
Yeah, exactly.
Now it makes sense though, because how many times have I done that and it's been great, but how many times have I done that and it's not good? I'm like, they got the weirdest taste. That was not
Yeah,
good.
that
yeah, they're
wasn't
probably
great.
pushing something.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
That
needs to
makes
go.
sense.
And it just
It
makes
does.
sense.
It
It's
does
like
make sense.
it's going to
Yeah.
go to waste, right?
Right.
So they
Sure.
really need to have. That's why
Yeah.
you see places that have specials.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
this is extra stuff we need to get rid
Yeah,
of.
I'm sure the
Yes,
chef's
yes.
like,
Oh yeah.
Let's
push the tilapia. We got to get rid of this
We got to
stuff.
get this damn tilapia out of here.
True.
Yeah. Anyway, we were like blown away from the first, dinner
first-
that we went
first-
out. I'm
yeah,
like,
first outing.
man, that was freaking good. Can't get that good again.
And lo and behold, it did. And it's not like we went out every night. It's going to sound like this, but we were here for 2 weeks. So we cooked at home and we were
Yep.
good.
Yeah.
Yep.
But in between, we would go to different places. I think the second place we went out to was Cherokee Brewing Company.
Yep.
Yep.
So this place reminded me a little bit of Asheville, where you've got all these beers on tap.
Yep.
They've got pizza they make in-house. The
Yep.
pizza was
A
outstanding.
very similar vibe to like what we see in a lot of the breweries up in the Asheville area.
Wood-fired
Wood
pizza.
fire, like exposed
Chicken
brick and just decor and stuff. It's like
Yeah.
kind of industrial
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah.
Because that just kind of sets the mood for your food, right? Or whatever you're going to be.
Ooh, sets the mood for your food.
That's a T-shirt. That is
That's
a
the title of this
T-shirt.
episode.
That's right.
Yep.
But it really does.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I
It
mean?
really does.
Like,
Yeah.
it's.
I mean, when you first walk into a restaurant, that's the first impression you have. So
Yeah,
that's going to change.
You're going by the smells that are coming, the the lighting, the
Yes.
sound,
Definitely with
what
breweries,
it looks
'cause
like.
breweries, when you walk in and you see the stainless steel, they're doing everything. They're brewing right there. And then
Yeah,
you definitely know what to expect.
yeah.
Yeah, and being able to see those things too is cool. See the tanks and know that it's not one of these dealers like a distribution point.
Yeah.
They're actually making it there.
And I love like the wood burning fire pit
Oh,
when you can see it because
Yep.
we have a little restaurant like that in Florida,
Yeah.
and an open kitchen. I
Yes.
love it. So you could see right into
Right
their
into the
kitchen.
Yep.
Yep.
So
You know
it's
what they're
like
doing.
you
Yeah.
can kind of see if it's clean back there,
for
if
sure.
it's
Yeah.
what the organization is like, and just seeing you're kind of part of the experience almost
Yes.
is what it is
Yes.
whenever you see all that. So that was a really cool vibe in there too,
And
it was
interesting-
busy.
Yo, what? That's
Yeah.
another
Oh,
good
yeah.
sign too when you walk in
That's
and see
right.
that.
It's always busy.
But an interesting vibe too to me was you go in, you order your drinks. You order your food at a different, like at the counter,
Yep.
and they got that zipped up, and they'll
Yeah.
deliver it. They give you a number, whatever, and then that gives you some breathing room to go look at the beers.
Yep.
Because we've been to a lot of places where you got to get it all figured out ahead of time,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so to be able to just go. Your food is cooking while you're figuring it out,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
the time you
exactly.
wait
Yeah.
is less by the time you get to the table.
And,
so.
and
Exactly.
the wings, I ordered wings. The wings were great, but the pizza was phenomenal
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And I will
Yeah.
tell you, I was
Really good
introduced
pizza.
by Jodi to the margarita pizza, and I almost got one of those from
Yeah.
the grocery store the other night because that is a pizza I never would have tried. I would have thought it's supposed to taste like a margarita drink.
Yep.
And it's amazing. It's like
great
basil.
Mozzarella,
Yep.
Fresh
fresh
mozzarella.
and tomatoes.
Yep.
That's
very
it.
That's
simple.
it. Very
simple.
It's a
Some,
vegetarian
yeah.
pizza, basically.
Yeah.
Maybe a little olive oil. Some
Oh, it is
Yeah,
olive oil,
olive
too.
oil.
That's
Olive oil
right.
on it. Yep.
Yeah.
And a little bit of red sauce, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did have red
Yeah,
sauce.
a little bit
Yeah,
red
which
sauce,
is a
yeah.
prerequisite
But
for
it's
me.
not
Yeah,
overpowering.
but it's not. Yeah,
It's more. It's
an
like
equal
a.
balance.
It's like a vegetarian
and
pizza.
It
garlic.
is.
Oh, it had a lot of garlic
did.
too,
Yeah.
like raw garlic. I mean,
Yeah.
cooked garlic, but you
Cooked
chunks of
garlic,
it.
yep.
But I am always the guy that orders the veggies with meat and the
Yep.
whole big loaded
Mm-hmm.
pizza, and I really liked it. But when I tried yours, I'm like, that's even better. So that's gonna
Yeah.
be my go-to for a little while. Such a
Yeah.
good place, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I always try to tell you, you don't need meat to get protein. The cheese has protein.
Well, if you
Well.
wrap the cheese around meat, it has more protein.
Such a
I
brat.
know. She'll be like, "You want to do grilled cheese sandwiches and soup?" And I'm thinking, okay, we got to get meat in the soup then.
How do we get meat in the soup? Are you doing like loaded potato soup? What are you doing?
Whatever. We also did, and then like for lunch one day,
I sent you out to find
you
something.
did send me out, and I found the
I think
mill.
it was a headache day.
It was, yeah.
It was
yeah,
a
you had a
headache
couple
day.
headaches.
Day. Yeah.
Stupid migraines.
But I ran out
Probably
at
from the
lunch.
bullet in my head. Just saying.
Ooh, we're gonna throw that up
That's
again right
probably
now.
true.
We should see how many times we can mention that in the episode just to make Rodney feel bad. I don't think he feels
And then we'll
bad.
go back, re-listen to it, and do shots to it.
Oh, Lordy.
Yes.
Like our podcast episode,
right.
our very
Yes,
first
yes,
one where
yes.
Dan said podcast 42 times.
Oh my God. I could drop a link to that too. It was embarrassing. I was so excited to listen to how we did. Audio sounds great. And I was literally saying stuff like, so this is our first time with a podcast, but if you never heard a podcast, I'm going to put a link to the podcast.
And then he did the outtakes and he did podcast ding, podcast ding,
It
podcast
was, I
ding.
don't know if it was like a nervous tick or what, but now I'll say it maybe
And in
once.
case you missed it, we do a podcast.
Yes. my God. What is it, 32 times in a
It was
40-minute episode?
so many times.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny, though. I'll put a link to the
You
outtake.
got to be able to
but-
make fun of ourselves, right?
Oh my God, we had the reel of all of our dumb in-house camera moves, me running into trees, mowing.
Oh, that's funny.
We like to make fun of ourselves.
Yeah,
We
that's
have to.
great. Breaking wine glasses. I fell down one time coming in the front door. It's fun getting older.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, so one day at lunch, I ran up to Trinity Barbecue, which is in a food hall called The
Yes.
Mill.
Oh, we love food halls.
I know, and it was really cool. We didn't really get a good chance to kind of check it out. Have you guys had a chance
Yeah,
to?
so that is an actual old mill that they converted, industrial mill.
Yeah, that's so
along with the
cool.
apartments that are next to it.
Yeah,
Was
it's
all part of the mill.
the original mill. Yeah.
And so they converted
Very
it.
cool.
And it's been growing ever since.
It's a trendy little place. It's right by the dog trail, the hiking trail, I guess I should say.
They have a cool little place in there called Waggle, which is an indoor golf simulator.
Oh, so
nice.
neat.
They have a lot of little boutiques,
They've
a lot
got
of cool little
Sol de Mayo,
restaurants. Sol de Mayo.
tacos.
Great
Yeah.
tacos.
We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to do like
Another
a day in there
Yeah.
next time we come down.
Well, I also noticed they have like a big screen in there where they were playing like a football game or something.
Yeah,
and
they do
people
all
are sitting
kinds of
down.
different
Yeah, more of a
That's
common,
so
because
cool.
that's what's nice about those little ones is it's a common eating area, kind of
Yeah.
like a mall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with a big screen TV.
But with a big screen.
Yeah.
TV.
There was also a painting class going on in the corner, which was
Oh,
really
that's
neat.
so cool.
They do a bunch of different things in there. So when you do go there,
They
stuff
have-
does come and go, but it's something new.
There's always
variety.
something new.
Well, there
and
was
it-
also a really big restaurant. Maybe this is
That's
the
the
taco
Italian
place.
place.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Italian. It wasn't open.
Nope. wasn't
Yeah.
open.
It's right next to
been
Native
there-
Kitchen.
We've been there one time
Twice.
or twice. We've been there
Twice,
twice, yeah.
Oh, very cool.
But I love when they take, I love when they keep the history of a town, right?
Yeah.
Like that mill was part of this history of why this
Yep.
town has grown and why it's kind of became like an industrial center.
And it looks great inside. They kept
Oh,
so much
yeah.
of the original
yeah.
parts.
Yeah.
That's
Keep
really
that
cool.
original architecture and modernize it a little bit.
And we've actually
but
done some company functions there because
Yeah,
in the
they have
back
a-
of the
they
mill
have
there's a
event
huge
space.
event space.
Oh,
that's
that's brilliant.
awesome.
It's
It's
called
really
the
cool.
Weaving Room.
Yep.
Yep.
Makes me wish I would have got more footage of the mill
Yeah.
while I was in
Well,
there.
next time we come down,
Yeah.
we're going to go spend a little more time.
Yeah.
And it's all
in
small
some of those.
businesses in there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's all
No,
small business, yeah.
while I was waiting for the barbecue, I just walked around for a minute, did a couple video clips in there, but I was like, wow, this is really a neat place. And you almost miss it if you don't know the area because I'm
For
like,
sure. You'll drive right past it.
Right, I'm following the maps to Trinity Barbecue, and I'm like, there is no barbecue place here. There's
Yeah.
the mill, whatever
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah, you don't
Yep.
have the idea that it's tucked away inside the mill.
So I just parked and went in. I'm like,
Yep.
maybe this, yeah.
They should have a sign out there that says this is what's inside. the
Right,
building.
like
Yeah.
that'd be some good feedback for them,
Yes.
like you see in a shopping center
Yes.
that says all
because
the things.
that way, for one, if somebody's just driving by it and is not from the area, they know what's inside.
Yeah, they could even come up with some creative, cute little sign that's got,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
like downtown Mount Dora has in Florida, where it's these artsy looking
Yeah.
signs.
Oh,
So
yeah.
each individual business has their own sign. It almost looks like a street sign,
Yep.
but it's in their font
Yes,
or
right. Yeah,
that'd be
whatever their
Yeah.
logo
Right.
is on like a
So
street
you can
sign.
recognize it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like an old school street sign, so
No,
it's
that
like a
would really
post
be
with the
cool.
sign
Yeah.
sticking in
Yeah,
different
that would be
directions.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd
Yeah.
be cool.
Because
be
that
neat.
always adds something to
Yeah.
like an area. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Oh,
You can
yeah.
tell,
Yeah.
oh,
The
I'm going to find
signage.
something really
Yeah.
cool
Because the mill
here.
looks cool on the outside.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a nice.
Oh yeah,
nice place.
it's
yeah.
real. Well, I drove by it and he pointed it out,
Yep.
and I'm like, oh yeah, we gotta have to go in there and walk
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. In between all of this, as Angie mentioned a bit ago, we have
Oh,
been.
I jumped ahead like I normally do.
Oh yeah, no,
I
no, no.
jumped ahead.
No, you didn't. No, not at
Oh, I
all.
didn't?
No, I
Oh,
just
okay.
meant in between like the barbecue and the mill and everything and all the stuff we're doing here. We've been like getting online in between and like checking to see what's going on back in Asheville and trying to figure out, okay, where are we going to move to? We don't have that much time left on our lease. And once we decided on Tennessee, we're still doing like these searches for this town and that town. And does it meet all the requirements
and
we
it
have?
sucks because you've never visited the town, so you're going, you're posting and saying, do you know about this town? I'm just doing the research on my end, saying, well, this town looks
Yeah.
like it's, cool,
Yeah.
trendy, but also, economically stable. All these different things you're trying to look for.
Yeah.
And then, but I think we have visited Asheville before, but the house that we rented, it was sight unseen. Like we
Yeah.
just found
Yeah,
that on, the timing was perfect.
Yeah.
We found it on Facebook Marketplace, I think, or a group or something.
It was Facebook
and-
Marketplace. Yeah, it was a group on Facebook Marketplace. It was perfect timing. But
Yeah.
this is like, it's almost like you feel like you're with the storm and we're away. Even if we are there just as long as we expected to be through this lease, then it's like we didn't have time to go home and think it out and map it out. Now we're traveling different places, and in between, we got to figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's been, I don't want to say stressful, because again, it really hasn't been that hard for us, but it's been a bit challenging to figure out where do we want to go. That's, even for a year, it's a big commitment, you know?
Yeah, that part's quite overwhelming, because then if you get in an area that, like, we don't hate the area that we're in, it's just we want to try something different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
We know that, we want to be a little more out in the country a little bit maybe, but maybe we want to just try another city. Who knows? I don't know if we know what we want sometimes.
I hate to say this, but I do feel like it's being realistic, but Asheville and Western North Carolina is not going to be the same for 3 to 5 years.
Definitely
And as much as we've loved all the connections that we've made in Asheville, the reality is when you've only been somewhere for 6, 8, 10 months, it's not your hometown yet. You are not really...
You haven't dug in the roots.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like we met with Asheville-ish, who was great, so great. And we're like on the fringes of that, but we're not locked in. So this happening is kind of like, well, now what do? We're going to stay here, but we can't do anything. We can't take the dogs anywhere. The water could be dangerous for them.
Yeah.
Things are closed. All those businesses that we loved are gone for maybe forever. So I know that Asheville will rebuild, but we got to figure something out in between.
Yeah.
So it's been crazy. It's been a crazy search,
It has, but I think it's kind of like I feel like the signs come to you sometimes where
I
it's
do too.
like,
I do too.
I was searching, right? We had our house set on our mindset on a certain house. We're like, this would be a great fit for us. And then they came back and said, oh, we're so sorry. Even though you did the application, this isn't available, right? And you're like, well, dang it, I really liked that.
And then the next one, they're like,
And then I'm like, I mean, I kind of like this one. And then they're like, this. And then the next one, you're like, oh, well, I guess we'll settle for this one.
and even the next one, they were like, well, your dog's not a year old. Your dog's only going to be 11 months and 99% of a year.
Yeah.
So I think after that, we both kind of like when we went to bed that night, we're like, I think I said, I kind of want to be like right in between here and Knoxville now.
Yeah.
Because we've had such a great time with you guys and just,
we've enjoyed it
knowing
too,
that,
if you guys turn out to be jerks after we sign another lease, though.
Like I said, it
might do
I mean, you have to look at everything in a positive light. This happened, but if this hadn't happened, we would never have spent this time with you guys.
Yeah, that's true. You might have seen us on a weekend a few years from now or something.
We would have never realized how great we are as adults.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And we're all pretty great.
Yeah, we're all pretty great.
Well, our paths have been in very different, busy times.
Yeah.
We haven't crossed in a long time. Even if we are visiting, it's like somebody somewhere else.
Yeah.
Even if we were close at times.
Yeah.
And even if you're related and you have the great stories of when you're kids, you're not necessarily going to get along as adults
Exactly.
or have that much in
'cause
common.
everybody
It might be
changes,
great to hang out for a weekend, but being together for 2 weeks really tests and says, well, could I tolerate this person around for 2 weeks? You know what I mean?
And living in the same space.
Living in the same
it's not like you're
space.
staying in a hotel.
Yeah.
You're staying with us directly.
Right.
Seeing each other as soon as we
Day
get
in,
home
day
from
out.
work,
Yeah.
day in, day out.
Yeah. So that is a good, test to just be like, oh man, I really like hanging out with my cousin still. I still like you.
And I'm going, tell me about how cool your cousin and his wife are. And it's like, well, she didn't know. She's not, she hasn't
No, I
been,
mean, I knew, but we have a lot more in common than I think I
Realized.
thought
Yeah.
that maybe we did.
And we
our
really,
lives
we really
are.
did never know you. So
No.
only in passing at some family functions that was very quick.
Yeah, but I will be honest with you, and I'm not like a sappy, hippy dippy kind of person, but I do remember telling her, I really like you because we had pleasant conversation
Yeah,
for
that's
5 or
what he
10
said.
minutes.
Yeah.
But you don't know. It's a thing. So anyway, it's been really cool to get to know you two, and
It's been fun.
It's been fun.
And we're
and it's
kind
nice
of
to
like
see
in
you
the
two reconnect too.
Yeah, and we're kind of in the same stage of life. We're empty nester. Our kids are grown and out. We have grandkids, but we're not like all up in our grandkids.
You guys do whatever you want,
do
whenever
what
you
you want. I mean, we have the dogs,
Yes,
so that kind of holds us back a little
No,
bit.
but we still. I mean, look.
But we take them everywhere.
But even when we don't, ever since we've moved to North Carolina, we're like just very similar to you guys, where maybe it's a Wednesday night. We just randomly go to dinner and have a drink and all these things you can't do when you have kids.
Exactly.
And I remember thinking, after the kids had moved out for maybe 2 or 3 months, the first few times you do that after being a parent, you're like, oh man, it feels like I should have scheduled or told somebody something. Right. We can't spur of the moment, go to the movies. It's like your brain is broken from all those years of having kids. But it's been, I'm not going to lie, I've really been enjoying this phase.
I know. I mean, I've been enjoying all the places they keep taking us to because I keep thinking it's going to be like, that one's okay. But it hasn't been. Everyone has been.
It really has.
Amazing.
And I feel like,
if you look up Dalton, you're probably like, what could there possibly be?
I mean, when we first moved, I told you guys when we first moved here, I was like, I don't feel this is our forever home. And then it started growing, and these businesses started being established, and it was like things changed.
and the food scene is just, I would have never.
It keeps getting better.
And the downtown area is built up.
You can tell they're really putting an effort into getting things that are more kind of in trend and younger owners maybe, or people that are, a little more high end, but there's a nice mixture. There's a little bit of something for everybody.
There's a lot of things that Chattanooga used to offer that you'd have to go to Chattanooga for, and then now they're bringing those kind of things to Dalton, which is nice.
That's a good sign. And I'll say, as much as we are all about supporting small business, I've said this on the show before, there are chains that I just love. I love Outback. Sometimes I want to go to Outback. And when you see, you guys have a lot of small businesses, but we'll get into this, but when you see some of the bigger businesses showing up around here, it means they may know something we don't even know as they're doing projections for growth. Right. But it seems like this is really
how much
starting
business
to
be. Is, what's the population, how much business passes through.
Yeah, they're not going to waste their money. They're strategic about all that.
Yeah, and it really changed because most people probably don't know this, but in 2008 when everything crashed, Dalton was the hardest hit in North America as far as unemployment. So a lot of people lost their jobs. The unemployment rate was, I think, over 20%.
Wow.
Wiped out a bunch of businesses because Dalton was historically only known for carpet, flooring. No other businesses were in Dalton.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was a very niche.
It was considered the carpet capital of the world.
And they basically, the people that owned all that kind of kept the other businesses at bay. But after 2008 is when Dalton started to diversify and bring other manufacturing in.
Okay.
So since they've done it, I think that's what's helped grow Dalton.
Yeah.
And you see all these different things that are happening because of that bad, tragic time in 2008. And they learned their lesson.
Well, it seems like it benefits all of them, though. It benefits the floor, and it's the
it brings more people in for them.
Now it's the flooring capital of the world. It's carpet. So they've expanded and broaden their horizons about what products that they
and a lot of different manufacturing is here now that Dalton can be proud of.
That means that they probably have put in place an economic development team.
Oh, I'm sure.
In their, in the city hall or, that really sat back and looked, people that have been here for years maybe on the council or whatever and said, what can we do? And that they worked their butts off to, because there's work that goes into that. Because you got to bring those businesses in and say, here's what we have to offer and here's the, the workforce or whatever it is that goes into it. We've talked a little bit in the past with some people about that, but it's a lot of work getting those, big companies to say, okay, we'll put our business here,
And you start, and we'll get into the tour that we had of your facility, but you start seeing cross business, even the conversations we've had about, we saw your stuff downtown, but you would think that even all the plants, there's potential for cross business. So you said, carpet, now flooring, and maybe flooring is partnering with carpets and turf and all these companies that are. That, so it's beneficial
even just
for all.
The mentioning of it. You know what I mean? Like now somebody's going to be listening going, what? I didn't know that.
And they've done more on the education side. I'm actually working with
you have a technical school here, right?
College here. Technical college, we're actually they just launched an apprenticeship program. We're actually sending one of our people. And it's all funded by the state. And so we don't have to pay anything. The student don't have to pay anything. They get an accredited, certification out of this, 144 hours.
Oh,
wow. I didn't even know that.
For industry? For the industries?
It's starting with this specific one, which is like electromechanical. So learning all kinds of mechanical and PLCs and all these kind of things that has to do with all the companies around here.
Oh, that is awesome.
So we talked with them, and this is kind of their pilot program.
Right.
So if this goes well, they'll expand it
Yeah.
And then I'm working with them to start a plastics program. So they're very interested in having a plastics program because so many plastic plants have now sprung up in Dalton.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm jumping ahead a bit, but let's talk about the tour of your place then while we're talking about it. So, after we'd been here for a week and change, we toured Rodney's plant and Rodney's business. So maybe tell us a little bit about you. We know a little bit about it, but maybe our audience a little bit about what you do.
And how long you've been in the business.
Yeah. So I've been in the plastics business over 30 years. Started the company I'm at now, CH3 Solutions, in 2015 to produce plastic tile for our 3 brands, which is VersaCort, Swiss Trax, and Ultra Base. So primarily, as you guys saw, the tile for inside your garage flooring, any tile for any kind of sports surface, basketball courts, pickleball, anything like that, and then stuff for turf because our parent group, Recreational Group, is the largest landscape turf in North America. So it's been good. It's been good growth. We started, we're going to be hitting our 10th year next year, which is exciting.
Yeah.
And,
those
it's been great growth.
Those anniversaries are always great because you're like, that's something good. That means you're sticking around in a competitive world, you know?
For sure. Yeah. And we've gone through, different ownership and things like that. It's all been positive. Obviously, my wife started with me in the company. Helping out and has been in a lot of our companies through RG. Yeah. And currently helps in.
So RG is like the main company.
It's the main parent company, Recreational Group. And so we have a bunch of companies underneath that umbrella. So like her company makes all the yarn for all our turf for one of our other companies. Everybody's intertwined together, which is really cool. But it's still, as big as we are, the ownership still really cares about their people. And it still has some small town, kind of small company feel for, and especially there's a core group of us that started back in, 2014, 15 there that's still there.
That's a good sign.
We've grown so much, like we just
Your
had
family.
You're
family, guys. Like we've met some of the people that you work with and are friends with. You guys are family.
Right,
you wouldn't know any different.
And then we had a company event Friday, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, there's a lot of new people that we don't really know because we used to be a small company. Now we're a big company.
And just the, since COVID, now a lot of people work from home, so you kind of disconnect there.
Yeah, I do hate that aspect.
So it makes it harder to have that personal one-on-one with people.
So
they try to bring people in if they can, and now we're spread across the country, the world. So it's much tougher.
But still, just having that family kind of feel at your warehouse, right? Or your different companies that are close by, even though you work in different buildings. And finding a company, don't you wish every company could be like that though? No matter how big you get don't get too big for your britches. Keep that. Make sure you keep that small company feel that you had in the beginning, because everybody started somewhere, right?
Oh, yeah.
Don't get too big for your britches.
And that's what keeps
That's what keeps people.
That connection between people. And it's neat. Like we're walking downtown, and we'll talk about some of the other restaurants, places we went to, and it's like Rodney and Jodi are like, oh, hey, and they're waving in another restaurant. And then we go in and start talking to other people from the company there. And I just thought, how cool is it that it's like, and Angie and I talked about it without you guys, where it's like this little town, and it's not so little, but it's not so big. It still has like that sort of smaller town vibe. And you can just be walking downtown and there's your work colleagues in a restaurant. And that's just, I don't know. I don't know what that's like, but it seems really cool.
It's really cool. And, obviously the one thing I've always pushed when I started CH3 was I love big corporate like structure and policy.
Oh my God, we might be related.
Right? But I love mom and pop personal relationships.
100%.
So the idea for CH3 was to meld those two together, and it's worked really well. So it's all about culture, and people always ask, because a lot of the places here pay more than we do and such like that. Now, how do you keep the same? We've had the same people for a really long time. And I was like, it's quality of life. Because the almighty dollar isn't everything.
It's not.
As people think it is.
Well, we talked about that, though.
Benefits.
Benefits. You're not working people on weekends. People have some time to spend with their families and reset and refresh.
Do you want to go to a sweatshop and make more money and burn out and leave? This is very much like my life and my industry, but the intangibles. You get to do this and you get to do that, and we take care of you here, and we, your family. That to me, that's a lifelong company potentially.
And you can tell people have left. And then they beg
Oh,
come.
we,
Oh,
so,
yeah, they go
amen.
somewhere else and
Yes.
think, grass isn't greener.
Yeah, it's like that $2
Exactly.
really didn't, now I can't do
Exactly.
anything. You're a number.
And
Yep.
sadly,
Nobody
a lot of the
cares.
times you can't bring them back
Exactly.
because now we filled
Now
your
we
position
filled your
and we can't just
position, and
bloat
this
the
person
company.
is perfectly happy here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But also that you guys, I saw there was a little poster, you guys doing like a fall festival.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stuff like that. It's
what I
always
meant,
been
small town vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's so important to just you're rewarding not only your employees but their families. You're bringing their families in and their
Yeah.
kids and getting
Yeah.
to
It's
know
a good time. We have a good time
what
there.
struggles or what's going on in their life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's so good to. I mean, I wish every single company.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them start like that, and then like you said, they
They
get
do.
bought out, and then they become a
Merge.
number two.
Yeah.
Everything merges.
Yep.
I just wish everybody could keep that in
Yeah,
mind.
most
when
of the
they're
time, I think
building
what,
a business.
what helped me was starting from very low position, entry level, working up. So now
Understanding what they're
I
going through.
understand the low level, and so
But don't you think everybody should have to
should.
do that?
I don't-
Oh,
And
yeah.
even if they
Oh, yeah.
start at the
Yes.
top, they should have at least a year
They
to
need
me
to.
that
They
they
have to
have to
understand
start
it.
from the beginning
Yep.
Yeah.
and go through the same process everybody else does. It
Or-
would make
yeah.
such a better environment.
I think you
become a
everywhere.
good manager.
I was going to say, you
Yes.
become a much better
Yeah,
manager
there's
because
so-
you know what
there's so many people that come in to manage companies that they've never dealt with.
Work.
They have a
before.
degree.
Yeah, a degree
You know?
and whatever. Well, if all your people walked out, how are you?
Who's gonna run
survive?
it?
Yeah, who's going to run it?
Usually,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
there's two aspects of that. One of them is knowing what your team does and being able to do what they do.
Yep.
And I don't necessarily have that either. I mean, I know you kind of do, but I think as you grow into
Oh, yeah.
thousands
Oh, yeah,
and
for
thousands.
sure.
But I think to me, the other equally as important part of that is if you came from a low level position, and I did too,
Yep.
you know what that position means and what they're capable of. And you
Yes.
can tell whether
yeah.
they're applying themselves or whether
Yeah,
this
you know.
is
Yeah.
something you could
Yeah,
resolve
because like
back
me
then.
and him, we both started from
Yep.
entry level positions, and that's how we met. We met
Yep.
at a plastics plant.
Yep.
How cool is that, by the way? You
Yeah.
guys are
So
intricately
Yeah.
bound to this
Yes.
business.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you
So,
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always good, and then you really can understand that person's perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's important to understand.
But you know, like Angie will tease me about getting frustrated with bad tech support. And I'm not very nice about it because
Yeah.
that's the one job. You can be bombing at every other job and I won't know. Like if you're a bad server, I don't really know.
Yeah.
I never did that job. But if you're bad at tech support, I know everything there is
Oh, yeah.
to know about the structure
yeah.
of tech support and you suck at your job.
Yep.
And so I tend to get short. And I would imagine that in your business, you
It's the same
know.
thing.
You
It's
know
the
if
same-
someone's really applying themselves or
Oh,
if they're
yeah. Oh yeah.
they're not.
Yeah, exactly.
The hardest thing I had to learn as all my years of managing was obviously if you grow and you're excelling, you're doing these things, you have a certain, here's my level.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm going to do all the time.
Right.
And trying to separate your level
Yeah.
with somebody else.
He tells me that all the time
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So
he says,
I'm like, you
everybody's
gotta,
not like you.
It's like you gotta, and that's a hard thing to break.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
just expect them to love it as much as I do.
Yeah.
Put as
Yeah.
much effort in.
Yeah.
Do as much research.
That's
treat
great. That's a great
and
point.
treat it as
Yeah, that is yours.
that it's a career.
Yeah.
It's not just a job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go to work and take pride in what you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times that comes from generationally.
I think
though.
it does.
It
'Cause I think
does.
our generation does that.
Yeah.
With, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not
these younger
saying
generations.
I'm not saying a whole generation doesn't do it. Because there are people
But
in our
there's far and few
generation that
between.
don't.
They're far and
Yeah.
few between.
Yeah,
But-
and it's frustrating when
Yeah.
you get young people that you can see their potential,
Yes.
Yeah.
but they don't
Maybe-
give it to you.
And they don't
That's-
see it themselves,
smart.
probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
they're
smart.
so smart, very smart.
But that is good management. I mean, to
Yeah.
be able to take a breath, because I'm over here going, you suck at your job,
Yep.
but that, to be able to take a breath and say, okay. And I guess sometimes I feel like I can tell, at least in my industry, when, not in my company, but like in
yeah.
the tech support thing, when someone's just phoning it in.
Oh, for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
But if it's
Yeah.
your staff and you're like, we can still kind of turn the tide here, and
Yeah.
maybe they're not married to it, but
Yeah.
that's the sign of a good manager.
Yep.
Be able to take a
Yep.
deep breath
Well,
and do that because our
also-
generation does. I mean,
Yeah.
I was proud of the ditches I dug at the nursery
Yeah.
back in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Also, being able to recognize in your employees their strengths and weaknesses.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Or if somebody's
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
bored of their job, but they
Yeah.
don't want to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Oh yeah.
have to be paying attention to that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because
Yeah.
then that
not so
person
many-
might be better suited
Yeah.
for something
And
that's
a
a
lot of
little
people
more
won't say anything.
challenging.
It's easier for them to just leave. Yeah.
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 Or, you can
And
just
you lose a good person.
Yeah, you can look
Yeah.
and go, I feel like you could, handle a little
Yeah.
more.
That
How
is
about
good
this
management.
responsibility? It could just be
Yeah.
something simple,
Yeah, pivot.
but it stimulates them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
if you only have so much stuff to give out, right?
Yeah.
Because there's only so many
And it's
positions.
more challenging because our particular company, not RG as a group, but CH3 is a very small company. We have 12 people from myself down.
Yeah.
And we run 3 shifts 5 days a week. So that does limit potential for growth. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, lucky for us, a lot of our people are very happy and just want to do what they're doing.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
not lucky
Yeah.
for you. That's
it's
a
like-
sign of
That
a
is
lot
a
of
sign
things.
of good management.
I mean, I know what you mean, but it's not
Yeah.
really luck. It's that
Yeah.
that's a sign of good management. It's a sign of a good company.
Yeah.
It's you're taking care of your people.
Yeah.
That's-
And so now my struggle will be, who succeeds me?
yeah.
Who succeeds my production manager?
Yep.
As we
Yeah.
get older.
But there's
or move
two.
on to
But
stuff.
there's
That's a
two-
job they ask
There's
you to
also
do.
too many managers that hold it, and
Yes.
they're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
going to take everything I know with me."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
See,
And you don't
yeah.
want to do that. You want
Yeah.
your
all our
company to
guys-
remain
I've already-
successful.
Every
Yeah.
employee knows everything.
Yeah.
Well, that's
That's
the
way it needs to be.
requirement of a lot of companies. Like our
Employee
company, you have
empowerment,
to
yeah.
submit who your successor is.
Yes.
So you have to be thinking about
Yeah.
that. You're right. As we get older,
That is so important.
And be
Yeah.
a good mentor. Right?
Yeah.
I still remember my mentor from when I started in this business.
Yeah.
That I give a lot of credit to.
Well, hoarding information, I think that shines through pretty quick. though.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
It does. Yeah.
What's
It
been the most after 30 years in this business? What is? I have two questions. Your most the accomplishment you're most proud of. Answer that one first, because I already forgot the second question.
Definitely, I think what was exciting for me was one, being asked to start CH3 with the help of Jodi, pushing me to do it. And then
A good partner.
I guess, we won, we were one of the top 25 processors of the year, basically, world-class processor within our first year of existence,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
which was
Well, I can almost
That's
hear
a
the
big
conversation of you going, I know I can do this. I just don't know if I should. And her going, you can do this. Just do this. Just
And I
do
did.
it.
Yeah.
Just,
Sometimes you have
just-
to take chances.
And I
Yeah.
can
Because
relate.
I left a cushy,
Yeah.
I could have been there
Yeah.
forever.
the rest of your life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to
But
work.
you look at the sense of accomplishment now and the difference between just going to work
Yeah.
and doing the thing and you
Yeah.
know.
But also, she probably saw maybe you're maxed out. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, I did.
Were you a
Because
little bored,
the
not
company
even
that he was
bored a
out
little
at
bit?
the company he was at that time made promises, to allow him to do things in the company.
To build it like
and
CH3.
To build
Yeah.
it like CH3 is now. And when he got in there, the whole story changed. So
Yeah.
then he's banging his head on the wall.
Right.
Because he's like, this is what they told me I can do. I can't do it.
Well, do you know what's
Yeah.
funny is that
And then
years
to be given an
ago,
opportunity that now he can.
right? So that years ago we had an ethics committee at the company that we had before we all merged, and I still have I was part of that committee, but they had what we call our family rules,
Yeah.
and I'll never forget one of them was do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
that's an example of that's
Right,
just such a
right.
basic
Follow
thing.
through on your promises.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
but people hold that dearly. So if you,
Yeah.
even your employees, if you
Yeah.
did what you said you're going to do, even if something didn't work out, if you did what you said you're going to do, they'll commit to you
Yeah, for
because
sure.
you're.
Right.
Yeah. I don't
Honest.
ever make a promise that I don't know is a for sure thing.
Me neither.
I don't fake with the raises or fake with,
Same.
Yeah.
this kind
Yeah.
of stuff because, just like when we do our yearly reviews, there's not a raise tied to it which is a good thing because people just assume.
We don't. We do the same.
Yeah.
It's a separate
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
our raises are strictly merit based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you want one raise a year, or maybe you get 3 raises in a
Yeah.
year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? It depends on you.
How much ass
Yeah.
are you kicking? Right.
Yeah,
Right,
Yeah.
I mean, it's all on you. you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
And then I think it's better anyway. I think you appreciate it more.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that you earned it.
Yes,
it
for
does.
sure.
It's not just an expected
Yep.
thing that I'm
The
going to get
notch every year.
10%,
Yeah.
1%
And I used to hate it when
raise.
companies be like, "Oh, here's 10 cents or 15 cents."
What is that?
It's like,
What does that mean?
Oh.
No.
like,
No.
You don't even notice it.
No.
Right. I can't even go to
I can buy a
dinner.
Coke
I guess-
now.
I
I can
would.
buy an extra soda.
Yeah, me as an employee, you know what I would prefer?
Just buy me the soda.
I would prefer you to stand me up in front of the entire company and tell me how great of a job I did at something and what I excelled at.
Well,
And how here's something you guys. Angie does this really good. So if you need help on this, come in, ask her for some help on how to improve.
Yeah.
I would rather get the kudos and a
value.
pat on my back.
Yeah.
A little fucking
that 15
certificate to
cents.
put up on my wall.
That's right.
Spend
Exactly.
your 10 cents printing me a cute little certificate, okay? And there you go. Give me some kudos.
recognition.
That's right.
But it goes such a long way,
sure.
man.
Yeah,
Like people,
it does.
why do you think they do Employee of the Month? What the
Yeah.
fuck you think they do that for?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Here's your $10,
And we're still small enough.
whatever.
We can ask
$10 to
people,
go get
what'd you do this
lunch.
weekend?
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Right? How was
Yeah.
your weekend?
Can't get lunch for $10.
I think it's
anymore.
important to do at any
Yeah.
scale to ask your
for sure.
staff what they've been up to. And I think I am bad about that. Talking about myself, like sometimes the team will say, "Hey, whatever happened with the hurricane?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's right. We talk about personal stuff sometimes."
Yeah.
Because I do. When you first said you like corporate structure, I fall right into that notch.
Yeah.
And I have to sometimes be careful. Even the podcast here, the first 10 episodes, I sound like I'm in a video call. But because I do like the structure of it,
for sure.
because when you and I were talking, and I know we got to move on to some other stuff we did, but when you and I, we did the tour, and I just must say that I knew it was going to be cool. I had no idea it would be as interesting as it was because it's a highly technical process. There's some very expensive machines. It's very important that
a lot of math
the
and-
scheduling
yeah.
is done right.
Yep.
The CAD drawings are done right. Reading the article before we kind of talked about it, where you were in the magazine about it.
Yep.
And talking about how you can start in this industry and you can do things like, and I'm paraphrasing a bit, but like, the caps for toothpaste or whatever. And these are all molded things and they don't have to be exactly right. But when you get to the level that you guys are at, where you're doing these flooring and it's these squares with four sides touching, it's got to be exact. And the nerdy technical in me was like, this is amazing. So the tour was great. The fact that you
And
guys
I was
are,
more impressed by the fact that the warehouse was so clean.
Oh yeah, but the productivity level was such a few amount of people, and then as we're walking back, I'm like, all right, this is a warehouse, so a factory basically. So these guys are working around the clock, and you're like, no, we don't work weekends. And you said something that really struck me. You said, well, it's just all about scheduling. I'm not having my people work over the weekend. You don't have to if you schedule it right. And that is the mindset of a giant corporate brain, that because I live in that world where the structure of scheduling is critical.
Yes.
So to have it at your scale and for your staff not to have to work over the weekends and you're still generating so much product, it's just, it was really cool. Very exciting.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. Well, anyway, in between all of that, we ended up going to all these other places. We went, I think I'm jumping around, but the Gallant Goat, the place that had such
love
good
the
drinks.
Gallant Goat.
Was that after the pizza place?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
We did
That was our little
we
pub
did
crawl.
Yeah,
pub
because
crawl.
we went
Mini
from the
pub crawl.
pizza place and then
Gallant Goat.
Gallant Goat and then our other place. But
Yes.
Gallant Goat is just the coolest little.
Such a
is.
cool vibe.
Yeah.
It's like got a 1930s vibe,
yeah.
maybe.
Ish, yeah. You almost expect
Martini
somebody
bar
behind.
Like
kind of
martini
thing.
Yeah.
bar.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a place called the Handlebar in
Used
Mount
to slow
Dora.
down. Oh yeah,
In Mount Dora.
That's right.
And but they had the coolest things. So they have the beautiful bar, right?
Yes.
It's small
Yes.
bar,
Yeah, but it
small
is
bar.
nice.
Beautiful, like with the glass behind it,
Yes.
and then liquor all the way to the top, and a ladder that they actually climb the ladder.
Like an old library.
Yeah, like an old library
And it slides
ladder.
across. Yep.
Yeah, but just a cool
Not a
vibe
big
in there.
place,
Little-
but a just really happening.
Oh, it's not.
Oh,
but
yeah.
the thing is, I almost expected like the guy behind the counter with like the mustache that's like
Yep.
twisted.
that's
on
how
the
the
corner.
handlebar is
Yep.
in Mount Dora.
But
And
they,
this is
Great
that-
craft cocktails.
Well, and the thing is, you guys were talking about history, and I mentioned this to you guys before, is that they actually repurposed that building. Like they
That's
have
right.
done so many
Yes.
places in Dalton. It used to be the Gallant Belk, which was a store, from what I understand, like Belk Lindsay, that. So they have repurposed that building.
So it
for
actually has
something.
apartments in
So
there
it has
and-
apartments upstairs.
and they kept the name.
and they kept a
part of the
portion
name.
of the name,
A portion of the
which
name.
is
I love that.
amazing.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
also, I know they had great craft cocktails, but I always find it interesting when you go into one of these places and you order, you would think that, you go into a regular bar, there's a lot of drinks you can't order. They're like, we don't have this thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, probably can't make a saserac. And they're like, oh, yeah, no problem. You have to tell them what it is or what goes in
and
it.
at Cyrus. You had that at Cyrus also.
I did have that at Cyrus
That's right.
also.
Yeah.
But
So
I
that
want to
means
say.
they have a good
Yellow Goat's
bartender.
probably
Yeah.
better.
They have
Well,
a
it
good
was-
bartender that educates
Yes.
themselves in the
Yeah.
difference.
So it was a very good drink at Cyrus, but at Golden Goat it was more.
Gallant.
I'm sorry,
Gallant.
I'm thinking.
We've interviewed the
the Golden
Golden
Goat.
Goat
Sorry. That's a smoke shop, a
shop.
little different.
Oh,
But
okay.
at Gallant Goat, it was more like the saseracs that I've had at restaurants that kind of specialize in it, almost like
Yeah.
the
Oh,
Copper
nice.
Crown.
Yeah.
And unbeknownst to me, I had just told Rodney at the other restaurant before at the steak place at Cyrus that, oh yeah, this is the way they come. It's like an inch of whiskey. This thing was like
Oh,
a
yeah.
full glass of saserac. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Is this like a regular price drink?
Yeah, they
So,
don't hold it back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool little
It was,
vibe.
it was a cool little spot.
And they not only just have the drinks, also they do have like charcuterie boards and
snacks
little
and
small
things. Yeah.
snacks and
Yeah,
you
if you're
know,
doing,
yes to put something in your belly while you're drinking those drinks
That's
down.
again reminds me of like the handlebar, but
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That was cool. Well,
Yeah,
we
it's a
didn't do
cool
that
little
because we'd
vibe.
had the pizza.
We just had the
already.
pizza. Yep. So we didn't.
What
eat
did we do
anything
after
there.
that?
We went to
went
the coffee bar
Yeah,
place.
like
Coffee
coffee and
Oh,
liquor
I
bar.
forgot about the
Garmany House.
Yeah.
Garmany House.
Yes, we love Jillian. Jillian owns it. Started it, I think she said, a little over 2 years ago, and now she's outgrowing her space. It's got.
Oh,
a
I
nice-
believe
Got
it.
very
You know, you
popular.
guys are kind of podcasters because, well, you're definitely huge small business supporters.
Oh, yeah,
Because
for
the
sure.
fact that you've known the history
yeah.
of so many
And
of
the
these
owners.
We know
places
most of
down
the
here.
owners.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just the history of Dalton. That
Yeah.
you're, so that
Well, you know I'm a
Yeah.
talker, so
Oh, yeah.
She knows everything.
So when
It's
I go into
relatable.
these places, I always talk to people and
And then go home and research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I see something in a business when I walk into it that I think that might help them, or, you know, I always give feedback,
Yeah.
you know, and I say, like Jillian, that she had a dessert at, I ordered it, and me and Julie, actually, a friend of ours, went in together, just me and her, and got this dessert, and it was huge. It was some kind of like peanut butter something, like a peanut butter bar.
Yeah.
And it was just so big, and I was like, Jillian, I said, cut that in half.
Charge the same for half of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just even a little bit less.
You still make more total.
Still
Yeah.
make more money.
Yeah.
And she says, well, you know, these big guys come in and they want the big pieces. And I said, but the little girls that come in don't want a big one. So if
Guys
they
can
want
buy
the
two.
bigger,
if you want a
yeah,
big one.
I said, give them a
Yep.
discount on 2 pieces. And, you know, and she has cut down the sizes of them. And I hope that's helped
Probably
her.
saved
But
her.
yeah.
I'm sure it
Yeah.
saved her some money.
Yeah. And I've told her, I said, whenever I get to the point where I don't need to work or retire or something, I said, I'll come and bartender for you just so I can talk all day.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Just
why
enjoy
I love,
the company.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's why I love doing Uber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can talk all day.
You meet interesting people.
Yeah.
Whatever walk of life they may be from. Everybody, and I'm very chatty.
Yeah.
Like there's not very many people
No.
that won't talk to me
Right.
because whatever they're, you know,
You can draw it out of 'em.
Whatever it is, I can draw it out, and
Yeah.
sometimes I can tell that they're very introvert, and maybe
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
it'll be very brief. But I meet people from all over the world and
Yeah.
coming from the airports,
Oh,
or
yeah.
I've had farmers in my car that are in town for conferences,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
started learning about the farming
Yeah.
and
Oh,
like
yeah.
just all sorts of. So yeah, we're both like that, like
Yep.
chat people up, you know.
I love it.
But what was the most amazing thing about the Garmany House? It's a coffee shop.
Have you had their coffee, by the way?
Well, we
Yeah,
used to have
Well,
standing
yes.
orders.
I had their espresso and
Yeah.
their espresso martini, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
nice.
So that's the awesome thing
Yeah.
about it is they have coffee and they have cocktails.
Yeah, I know.
So-
I know their
Coffee and
cocktails are good. I'm just
cocktails.
curious if they
The
have good
coffee's
coffee.
good. I like their cold brew, and she likes their chai.
Yeah, they're
teas,
Chinese.
nice.
and
Yeah, so,
they do.
yeah,
They have
okay.
some. They have really nice espresso
they have baked
machine.
goods.
And
Yeah.
it's
I've never heard of that. So this is a coffee shop that serves all different kinds of coffee, like a
Yep.
coffee shop would.
Yep.
Yep.
They have baked goods and they serve drinks. And when I say drinks, I'm not talking about like
A tiny
wine
little
and
drink.
beer or wine-based.
No.
I had like a vodka martini in
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah.
that is such a cool concept.
Yep.
Coffee and cocktails, baby.
It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
And one thing too, also, because a lot of small businesses don't have it, but she actually has a drive-through.
Yep.
So you
What?
can-
On the
yeah.
back of the building or
Oh.
something?
So
There's
like
an alley.
there's an
Oh,
alley
wow.
between. So she actually has a drive-through.
What a
also.
perk.
So you can just
Wow.
Because
swing
most
through.
you always want that, even
Yeah.
like when you do find a cool small coffee house, you really want it to have a drive-through because you're like, I don't want to go. I just want to go. It's the morning. I'm in my PJs. I'm on my
being downtown,
coffee.
you always have to find a place to park and all that stuff. And so if you're in a hurry, you can just slide through the drive.
And I've had standing orders with Jillian before so she knows on a certain day she'll have the stuff sitting there. So I'm driving. I just swing through, grab my stuff.
See, again, the charm of like a small town vibe.
Yes,
I love that.
It really is.
Oh, I also love the idea of getting a martini to go. I'm just kidding.
I don't know if they allow that.
And she does do, I think, like special events and stuff too. So
she's pretty busy.
Yeah.
She's pretty busy. Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Very nice. Well, in between that night, we we checked out the town a little bit. We took the dogs on the trail, which was really cool. And you guys told us about the little trail, which is actually right over there by the mill.
Yep.
Yeah.
I used that as a marker to get us back.
And the railroad runs right through this town.
Yep.
Obviously, it makes sense. It's an industrial town. So I do like that. It's a charm of a little town, too. You hear the train coming
it was
through,
right by the river when we walked by.
Yeah.
And it was we chickened out and didn't want to go way out into the sun and get hot.
Yeah.
But we did that
'cause we're
trail.
those
and
people.
I love how
hot.
it reminded me a little bit
It
of
was
the
hot.
rails
We
to
did
trails
that.
from Florida because it's a relatively flat trail. It's paved. It's a bike trail and a hiking trail and a dog trail, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
So-
and it's a brand new. I mean, it hasn't been open.
Now, you guys have biked that trail or walked it? Or
Just walked it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well,
We
good
walked
thing we walked a little bit while we were here because we've eaten so much great food. That,
Speaking of which, let's roll right into that. We had sushi at Fuji's another night.
yes,
right?
we did.
That was
Yep.
real good.
And-
It's like a Japanese steakhouse on one
Hibachi,
side, right?
like
Hibachi.
hibachi.
It's like we did mostly just sushi
Yeah,
and stuff.
sushi is
but,
great.
Kind of like a
It's great
Connie
there.
house or any of those.
Yeah.
I will say if you go there, the sushi is amazing. The atmosphere is amazing. The drinks are great. I think we mostly had beers, but
Don't have.
no, you can have them. They were
Oh,
tasty.
you can have them.
Jalapeno poppers.
The
tuna
jalapeno poppers.
Jalapeno poppers.
This is a brilliant idea. They half jalapenos. They stuff them with tuna. They flash fry them. And they are hot as hell. I mean, they are.
Those are some of the hottest jalapenos I've ever
Man.
Oh, Angie had one, I think.
I ate 2 halves.
Okay.
But I was
You ate.
of one.
I was
Rodney,
dying.
you had one, I
had
think.
one.
I was dying. Yeah.
So I was like, they're great. They're
but
hot.
I wanted
tasted
to have a
great.
second one because they were so good.
Oh,
This is
I'm like,
horrible.
I ordered these. I'm going to eat them. They were good. They're hot. I had 5 halves, and I was hot, and I
How's your
toughed it
tummy
out,
doing that night?
and it was rough. It was a rough gig. So just watch yourself there. But really good sushi, and that was a really nice environment. Another night we went to Hamilton's.
Yeah, because these people kept so. Dan and I have this thing. We're like, we just want to find a good burger, like
Which is not that easy.
just a good burger,
Yeah.
just
And-
tasty and just like I don't want to be disappointed, I don't
And
want to be like, it's okay, It's a
And
burger.
supporting a small business. So,
Yeah, exactly.
so that's the challenge, right? Because
Right.
there's chains out there. You love their burgers,
Yeah,
but
for
you
sure.
want to support the small business. And we were not disappointed. Here's how you
We were
know
not
it's a good
disappointed.
burger. How many people were at the table? So it was the 4 of us and 3 other people, I think.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So every single one of us ordered a burger. So
Yes.
I think, or was there one
One
exception?
person did. Larry did a pizza.
Larry
Okay.
did a
Pizza and Julie did wings.
And Julie,
Oh, okay. Oh,
and Julie
okay.
did
5 of the
wings.
7
Yeah.
ordered.
5 of the
5 of
7.
the 7.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
still
fair.
pretty good
Fair.
odds there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the prime burger.
The prime
Yep.
burger.
But
Okay.
mine didn't have lettuce and pickle.
Well, so
and
I
stuff.
learned the prime, it's all the same meat. So the
Yeah.
prime burger just means it has horseradish and pickled onions or something?
Like grilled onions.
Grilled
Oh, very
onions.
nice.
It's,
And
it's
it came
kind of
with-
like a French dip.
And it came with an au
almost.
jus. Yeah.
It's got
Oh,
an
you
au
dipped the
jus.
burger in the sauce.
Yeah.
And then I
Oh.
ordered more of the horseradish.
Horseradish.
Yeah, that horseradish was good.
But the burger itself had good flavor. Like
Yes.
It was
a lot.
seasoned.
It's seasoned.
Yes.
That's right. A lot
And
of
it's
times
so
they're just taking the
tender.
meat and just frying it, and then they're putting all the other stuff on. And
You
it's
can
like
tell it's a
there's
hand
no,
patty.
there-
Yeah,
there's
you can
no
also tell
flavor.
it's good meat though because it's
Such
the
good
same
meat.
size as the bun. It's
Yes.
not smaller.
It didn't
Yeah.
shrink
It didn't
out.
shrink,
Shrink
baby.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
And
no
it-
hockey puck in the middle
That's
of
right.
my burger.
Oh, I had
Exactly
the
right.
traditional
It was so
'cause-
moist and juicy.
Oh yeah, and they were cooked perfect too. I could look around the room and be like, okay, you got medium rare, you got medium.
Yeah.
But
and then I'm looking at the menu at that place because we kind of there's 2 sides to
Yep.
that one as
Yep.
well. which
oh, what
I
a
think-
cool idea around here, by the way.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they're cater. I think they got the number. They're
Yeah.
like people sometimes want to be dressy, some want to be more casual.
In the
It's
same
very
place.
smart in the
What
same
a-
space.
I never heard of that, yeah.
So we sat on the little more casual side,
Yep.
but and they kind of have 2 menus to
Yep.
kind of reflect that. But we were when you guys saw your colleagues on the other side, Dan and I are looking at the menu again. The lady almost sat us again.
I said,
"No, we already ate."
I said, how funny would it be? They'd be like, they are fat, because I was like, we're sitting and we had just eaten.
Sat again.
So let me clarify a bit for the listeners here. But we had our burgers; they were delicious. We're all so full. And as we're walking past the fancy side, this is what I was talking about. We're like, oh, hey, it's colleagues in there. So we go in there. We're talking to the colleagues, we're all chatting, and we're standing kind of near the podium where they would check in new people. Yep. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, have you been seated? And part of me wanted to go, we're looking at the menu, I wanted to go, no, two please.
Yeah, well, because that side of the menu was, it looks so good.
Yeah. Well, and they offer that. That's the one thing that's nice about that restaurant is if you don't want to get dressy or be in that environment, they give you can ask for the menu from the other side.
That's right. We had both.
Yeah, and so we had both menus. So you can order something from the fancy side, but eat in the casual side, and vice versa. You could go to the fancy side and order a pizza.
I love that.
So
maybe you have it. Maybe you're out on a date. You're dressed up fancy, and you wanted something fancy, but I wanted the burger.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't have to go. Well, I can't. I'm not in that side.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the same thing. Cool little vibe in there.
Yeah.
Just
and the personal. Like the waitresses and stuff.
Oh yeah. And they're young girls.
Young
and you
girls.
don't normally get like very conversational.
And they've been there for a long time. So that also shows that they must treat their employees well because all those girls have been there.
Yeah, probably since they were working in high school.
To the point that
we know them pretty well.
Yeah.
You
we
could
drink.
tell.
They know what we drink. They miss us when we're not there.
Yeah.
And we miss them.
Well, that's a small town charm we're talking about.
Again, if you don't see this, girls will be like, "Hey, where'd so and so go?"
Yeah, just like today, just think of simple thing like Chili's, right?
Yeah.
So we went to Chili's, me and my buddy, and we're waiting. Jodi and her friend Julie weren't with us, and the bartender said, "Where's the girls?"
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like they know, even though it's a lot of people travel through there, it still has that.
They remember you, and I got to tell you, we went to the Sweet Spot as you guys recommended for lunch one day, and got their sandwich. Angie got the baked potato.
This delicious baked potato cooked perfectly,
and with bacon and cheddar on it. I think, and I got the
potato. Yeah,
Georgia Club, which was really neat. It's like everything you would think comes on a club, which is like turkey, bacon, cheese, lettuce, tomato, and blackberry jam or preserves. It was delicious, but and their baked potato soup was delicious too. But the staff, there come the young girls again, but they were like, "Oh, do you need anything else? Oh, thank you so much."
Drinks.
It was just like unbelievable Southern charm.
Too bad you get to try the donuts.
I wanted to, but they serve so much food.
The first time we went,
the
first time we went, we ordered a sandwich and chips, and we all ordered.
We didn't know how big the sandwiches
ordered a
were.
donut. So we spent like $60 in there the first time we went, with 3 of us going in there.
Yeah.
We experienced all of it from start to finish.
Oh, yeah.
The donuts are.
Well, I have to try the donuts.
Well, they make them fresh to order.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah,
well, I asked.
It's nothing's sitting around.
Right.
And
that means it's warm too, though.
Super warm. Yep.
Yeah,
and they're big donuts. They're good.
I was like, I'm looking at the menu of donuts, of course, and I'm like, "Do you have all these today?" And she goes, "Oh, sweetie, we make those when you order them." I'm like, "Oh my god!" And then we ate too much food. And then Angie's like, "Yeah, I'm full. I don't need it." I'm
then
thinking,
they got like froyo.
"Oh yeah."
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I'm like, "Do you sure you don't want to get one to go?"
And same thing with the vibe in there. It's got like that, country, clean country.
It's like a little ice cream type shop
style.
Well, it's an ice cream shop actually. So I'm thinking Sweet Spot. Why is it called that? But
because they got frozen yogurt, but then they've got like fresh scoop.
And if you look
ice
down the
cream,
back,
too.
they also have coffee drinks and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So hold on, coffee drinks, ice cream,
well, you have
froyo,
you have donuts, you gotta have the coffee
sandwiches,
drinks.
soup. That's a really.
I mean, they're doing it up in there.
And they recently moved for more space, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're doing well.
Yeah.
Rightfully
because
so.
the maps took us to the wrong place.
Yeah,
so we
it
were
used
like,
to be
wait a
on
minute,
They were in a
where is
real
it?
small
It
place
was
before.
closer to the main downtown.
Yeah. But I mean, that was all the small businesses we went to. But we were excited that Schlotzsky's is here. They're not in Central Florida anymore.
Yeah.
We've been we went to the shooting range today, which was awesome. Watched a couple movies together. One of them was good. One of them not so good.
One was
the one I picked out. Why are you looking at me?
we won't even mention it because it's art, so it's subjective.
Yes.
Some people will love it and be like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Steve
But it was a
movie.
turd.
Yeah.
It was a turd.
Yeah. But Speak No Evil
Rodney
was
fell
really
asleep.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard you snoring over there.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking
Yeah.
of, it was cool.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
cool.
Speak
They did a lot of dumb
Speak No
stuff
Evil
in
was
it, but it
good.
was very entertaining.
Yes, it
Sometimes
was.
it's fun to yell at a movie though when you're watching
I
it.
know.
You know
Well, you know what I
mean?
also loved
Why
about
are
you guys?
doing that? No, because they wrote it that way.
We do this all the time with us, and I'm like, well, I don't know what their vibe is. We're watching the movie in their house. We're going to be quiet. And then when you guys started going, what are you doing? I'm like, good. Because this guy and that.
Stupid.
Because we do that with every movie where I'm like, are you kidding me? Why would
yeah.
you deserve
Why
to
would
die if you
do-
go in
yeah,
there?
Exactly. Why would you do that?
So all these movies that we've watched, when this happens to us, like,
Yeah.
we're not going to be these stupid assholes.
Yeah,
That's
right, right.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's always one guy that breaks away. I'll be
Yeah.
right back, you know?
Yeah.
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 Anyway, but it was really fun. And
Yeah.
yeah, we've just had so much fun. This has been like a vacation.
I know, it really has.
So we're still on the lam, I guess, as they say,
We're
and
still
we
on the
are
lam.
we are heading to
Yeah.
Knoxville, Tennessee next
I
to
won't
visit
let
with
Dan
some
take
friends.
me back home if I have to boil my water to wash my body with it.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
didn't even bring up all your beautiful form last night.
Oh,
we
Topgolf.
forgot about
Oh, yeah,
Topgolf.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
See, we've done so much. That's what I'm saying. It's
know.
like 20 things in 2 weeks we've done.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you weren't sore today
Yeah.
from that.
Okay,
I should have
this just-
videoed you.
hustling.
Okay,
Dan was
so I
hustling.
wasn't hustling, but just so you all know what they're talking about, if you haven't played Topgolf, I highly recommend it. I'm not a sports
It is
person at
fun.
all, but it's, you get drinks, you get awesome food, and you each get like a little booth, and it's a driving range, and they have like digital games connected.
Mm-hmm.
And I suck at golf, so I'm like getting the thing stuck on the ground. And then when I moved to the Happy Gilmore position, where you kind
that
of
what
just
you call it?
yes, where you're not using
Okay.
any of the proper form, I was nailing
Yeah.
it. I was nailing it, but Angie's like, "You're gonna hurt your back."
Yeah.
So-
She's
How's
thinking,
it feel
oh my
today?
God, I'm going to have to baby him and nurse him back to
Fine.
health.
How's it feel?
All that shooting loosened up my spine.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, guys,
Yeah, that was fun.
it's night time.
Yeah. It is. It
You
is.
see my eyes getting
Yes,
all
they're getting all
droopy.
sleepy,
That's the one
sleepy.
glass of wine that did
Yep.
that to me.
Yeah, but we're leaving in the morning. But
Yeah,
just
we are.
thank you guys. This
Yeah,
has been
it was
amazing.
fun.
Yeah. You
But
guys are welcome
there
back
will be
anytime.
things left here to remember us by. And by things, I mean corgi hairs everywhere.
Oh, you'll be
Because
thinking
no
about
matter
us for
how
weeks.
much I clean, they're
gonna
still going to
stick
be
around.
here.
Yep, we've experienced that with our son's dog. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, the dogs are going to miss you guys. I have never honestly seen them. I mean, you guys.
Besides with Mackenzie with Heather.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
she's at our house. Well, she's been at our house
Yeah.
before
Yeah,
they came
she's
over.
watched
but
her so
like
much,
in
yeah.
the mornings, they charge up the stairs, and we're like,
go
no,
see if
to go
Rodney and
say,
Jodi are awake.
hi, good morning. Or when you guys get home from work, they're like flipping out.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
they're sweet.
They're
Yeah.
sweet dogs.
So it's been
Yeah.
really
They're
sweet.
You guys have
dogs.
done good with them. 'cause
We
they're
did a
so
good
sweet.
job. We good
I
job
get-
raising
Good
our
job.
children.
Yes, we
They're
did.
they're not teenage dogs yet.
Well, little
teenage
sassy
dogs
Frass
yet.
is.
One of them
She's
kind of
she's
is.
yeah.
Yeah,
she's
Mackenzie's
a little
been
sassy
pushing the limits.
sometimes.
Yeah.
she
Yeah, well, I
pushes.
love how she pushes the limits with us, and then you guys, she's like all wiggly
Yeah.
and sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's sweet.
Yeah. She's
Well,
super
no,
sweet.
remember Jodi had to get onto her
I
because she was
did.
hiding
Oh,
from you
that's right.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jodi, oh yeah, you had to help me get her in the car.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, we
Yeah.
got to work
I think
on that.
She
one of my
tucked
favorite
her
things is when
tail
she was
and-
over here just knocked out
Oh, yeah.
on the floor.
That's
Yeah.
what,
She
because
didn't care.
because what I told you, she don't normally she will be in some places where she does want to be right by us. You know what I
stressed out,
mean?
yeah.
And for her to
I don't
just
even know
be-
where she is right now.
they're in the room right now,
Oh, yeah.
but she was just like in her normal spot where she would be at our house,
Yeah.
behind the couch,
Yeah.
just laying on the floor.
Oh, that's right.
She wouldn't even wake up.
Yeah, remember her calling her?
They're
like-
super
Yeah.
comfortable here.
Yeah,
and
they're very
Oliver, you know, he's
comfy.
got a little more anxiety, but he's doesn't have it here. He's like coming to
Yeah.
see
He's
you
fine.
guys, and
Yeah, he's fine.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's been
he's good.
awesome.
Yeah.
No, they're gonna miss you guys too,
Yeah.
for sure.
We'll miss all of you.
Once you all get settled again, we'll reunite.
I mean, we're
For
going to
sure.
see you again
Oh,
in
yeah.
like a few
yeah.
days.
Oh yeah, yeah. Next
Yeah.
weekend. For
Because
family get together.
Family get together in Franklin.
I just do what I'm told.
So-
I'm like
Dan
Oliver.
will just be there. I didn't put it on his schedule, but he'll be there. But guys, thank you so much for all the well wishes that
Yep.
you've been sending us.
Yes.
And like we said, we haven't really had it that hard. We've been very fortunate. Thank all of you for supporting that community up there because they really need it.
yeah.
And we want to remind you about the Floridians for WNC. We'll put a link in
Oh,
the
yes.
notes here as well. But a dear
Nonprofit.
friend of ours, Betsy Owens, has started this nonprofit for Floridians to help those in Western North
Yeah.
Carolina. You know,
She
it's
actually
been-
has boots on the ground. Her sister lives in Franklin, North Carolina.
That's right, yeah.
Franklin was affected, but not like a lot of the other
that's where we're
towns.
going next
And that's where we're going.
Yes.
And so she has been collecting supplies from that nonprofit, and she's getting them out to people in those stranded areas.
And you might say, look, it's been almost 4 weeks, but there are still areas out there that will take, as I said, years to recover. So yes, if you want to donate and help, that's greatly appreciated for sure.
That's right, guys. And guys, remember, at the end of each and every day, it's all fine and dandy.
Never gets old.